Welcome back. Well, Beaufort and Bluffton high schools faced off on the field at Bluffton. WHHI has the inside look, bringing it to you.
Thanks. So we had a good one from here in Bluffton tonight. It looked as though Bluffton was going to run away, but Beaufort did everything they could to stay in this one. In the end, the Bluffton Bobcats win it here on homecoming. They win 28-14. Everything started out for them well on their first possession. Rakeem White took it from 38 yards out for a touchdown, and then twice from 63 and 53 yards. Shamar Sandgren got himself into the end zone. Then as we got into the early parts of the fourth quarter, Shamar Sandgren again from 17 yards out. They build up a 28-0 lead, and then just like that, James Dagan returns a kick 91 yards, and then he gets in from 20 yards out to make it a 28-14 game. That's where we ended up. A good one. A little bit of a surprise, though, don't you think?
A little bit, although Beaufort really struggled on offense. And you could see when Dagan went down, he was out for most of the first quarter into the second after suffering a stinger in his neck. And I think that really put them behind the eight ball as Bluffton was running up that 21-0 lead. Give credit to Bluffton's defense as well, because the Eagles just struggled, not only running the ball, they've tried throwing the ball a little bit more this year, but it could not complete the passes. A really good turnaround for the Bluffton defense, which had struggled coming into this game.
And that was really the defense. You know, the two ends were coming around. The outside linebackers were putting a lot of pressure on Jeffrey Smith and Tyler Haley, who came in and did a little bit of quarterbacking, a freshman for Beaufort that we're going to see in the future and is going to be good. As a freshman, he showed that he really has an arm tonight. But the corners just put so much pressure on Jeffrey Smith and Tyler Haley. They just didn't have time to do anything.
No, they really didn't. And part of the struggles that Beaufort had was not a lot of their plays were designed runs. They were designed to throw, except Jeffrey Smith continued to have to run for his life. And you could see at the end of the game on the sidelines, he was tired. They actually took him out from the defense because they needed to give him some rest. And even his arm strength went down over the course of the fourth quarter and just really made it tough once Beaufort got back within 2 touchdowns to go any further than that.
Tonight was the beginning of region play, obviously, as we move forward for the next few weeks for Beaufort, Bluffton, Hilton Head, and Colleton, the 4 teams that are in this region. They're all going to go to the playoffs, but obviously this can determine, number one, who's going to win the region, because that's always a popular thing. I mean, you want to win the region, but who's going to play where and why?
Absolutely. And you want to win the region so that you can take on the 4 seed from somebody else's region. That's the big thing. And kind of conversely, you don't want to finish 4th and take on somebody else's number 1 seed, which is going to mean a very short stay in the playoffs. So we got a lot of ways to go. Bluffton obviously with a good start. I think it's going to be really tough for Beaufort because it doesn't get any easier. They play May River next week. May River entered the night unbeaten, and they got that killer running game that is going to really challenge the Beaufort defense. Then they play Hilton Head, which has an outstanding defense as well, and it may come down to Colleton County to avoid that bottom slot.
Well, that's where I was going next, was the game that Beaufort has next week with May River, because they already beat Bluffton earlier this year 35-21. You touched upon everything we needed to there, though. So they've got their hands full, and they need to be doing some regrouping this week. Once again, from here at the Broad River Bowl, Bluffton wins it 28-14. Now back to you in the studio.